They can claim out.
What do you want?
So in the event that you want to stop the opponent from serving, you put the bat, you put the bat like this, or you drop it. So you have those two options. Then you must show your ball. You must show your ball. If you have any question, please ask now. All right, from the toast, he won the toast. So. One side 0. 171.
-1 for that.
Yes. Come back.
473. 5
Well done.
677.
I don't come. Even though. Hey!
678. It's a change of service.
Ready?
All right. 1277. Are you changing? Change 86, last service.
You come to this level.
69. So 79. Next. Nice one, guys. Let's go. 17, 7, 10.
You see that service?
8.
It's already considered.
Show the ball.
Stop like 8.
Wait. I'm not saying.
It's the referee now. No shout on this.
8, 7, 10.
What is to play? What is to play?
8, 7,
Just one. I be relax.
Calm down.
Somebody can make mistake now.
Now they confuse them.
Okay, keep quiet so that they win.
Come on. Cameraman never snap now.
I don't snap.
On behalf of the management and board of Media Trust, I
I present to you this championship award. Congratulations.
What a fantastic one. They are talking about a table tennis competition that took place in the Media Trust Limited between themselves. That's the admin team winning their cost of Ibrahim Baba Usman, who was able to defeat Kabiru Lawal of Trust TV. A big one between the two, at least for trying to showcase their talent in the world of sport, of table tennis. Welcome you on the show. Weekend Sport on Trust TV. I'm Adini G. Well, we run through some stories trending in the world of sport, also taking you through what's going to be happening for this weekend. Yes, there are a lot of leagues actually winding up, and we can't take that away from the like of EPL. We are totally done now. But for the likes of Spanish La Liga, Italian Serie A, and also French Ligue 1 is still up there. And also in Nigeria, MPFA Super 6 starting. It's going to be starting today over there in Lagos. And not forgetting the FA Cup finalists emerging. Aside that, we also look at our ladies, the women, are trying to see how they can win the Wafu B Cup over there in Ghana at the Babayara Stadium in Kumasi, Ghana. Well, Flying Eagles will also be applying their trade against South Korea in the quarterfinals of the World Cup, under 20 World Cup, taking place in Argentina after they bundle out the host country. That is Argentina, the competition. More of this will be coming your way on the show as we begin right now. From the home scene, let's talk about athletics. Nigerians are very good when it comes to this particular sport. A particular Nigerian named Ese Brume did well for this country and also for herself in that particular competition that took place in athletics, that is long jump over there in France at the one they call Montreux meet. She was able to jump 6.88 meters during the week, and right now we have to talk about what she did there ahead of other international long jumpers that came. Good one for Ese Brume, really flying high, the flag of Nigeria, and also for herself in this sport, and also trying to see how she can better a lot when it comes to building more results for herself ahead of the Olympics. Good one for Ese Brume. A lot of Nigerians are competing in different categories of sporting competition across the globe, especially in the athletics. Congrats to Ese Brume being able to win that Montreux meet, the competition that took place in France, so jumping 6.88 meters. Congrats to Ese Brume there. That happened during the week. We just have to quickly look at that particular review of what she did in athletics, just to inspire someone out there who is really into long jump and also believing that yes, one day he or she can do well in this sport. Ese Brume there for you. Away from Ese Brume, let's quickly look at another Nigerian doing well in wrestling. She has been named the wrestler of the month of May. Talking about Blessing Oborodudu. Oborodudu did so well, where she has been competing in 68 kilogram category worldwide. She has done well dominating Africa. In fact, about 10 or 11 times she has won the best wrestler in Africa and also in the world. She has been able to get to the silver medalist at the Olympics, and we've seen what she has done. And right now, Blessing Oborodudu doing so well at the Commonwealth Games, every other categories of competitions where she really deserves to be given that particular trophy there. Well, from the way it is right now, she got this particular opportunity to be recognized by World Wrestling Association there, or Federation, I beg your pardon, for the fact that they named her the wrestler of the month. Congrats to Blessing Oborodudu, another Nigerian doing well in another sport called wrestling. Earlier on was athletics, now we have wrestling. All these are not from football, but they are really doing well in wrestling and also athletics there. Congrats to Oborodudu and also Blessing, that's Ese Brume there. From Ese Brume, we quickly move to talk about big soccer. Big soccer actually took place in Kaduna in the phase 2 category of event, talking about Nigerian big soccer, and we have to look at the way the table is standing after they finished the second phase of the competition. Kebbi big soccer coming first, still topping the league there. They did the first phase. The second phase actually ended in Kaduna, while Kebbi big soccer, they are having 16 points from 6 matches. You have Marco Patigi also coming second, 12 points, 4 points adrift the two teams. You have Kebbi United Big Soccer, although they have two teams here, Kebbi Big Soccer and Kebbi United Big Soccer having 11 points, followed by Kada BSC of Kaduna with 9 points, while Ibom Big Soccer and Smart City really need to up their games right now because they have just 1 point from 6 games, and also for Smart City, they They are yet to actually get a point at all in this competition. Just to give you update concerning the second phase of the Nigerian Big Soccer, the second phase, they are looking at the table right now. Congrats to Kebbi Big Soccer team who are really at least coasting home right now after the second phase. Yeah, congrats to those teams that did well. But for at least if you're out there that you love big soccer, you can just try and follow this because it's a league, and right now the phase 2 just ended in Kaduna. They'll still be moving down to the southwest, that should be in Lagos. And from that particular story, let's talk about another big one that happened during the week. This time around, the Federation's Cup, the finalists actually finally they've emerged. You have Bende Insurance versus Rangers International. They'll be fighting to see who wins this year's Federation's Cup after both of them bundled out Warri Wolves and Plateau United. Rangers defeated Plateau United by a lone goal, while Bende Insurance won on penalty against Warri Wolves. Congrats to the two teams. And for Bende Insurance, really, they'll be very invincible this season, yet to lose any game in all the competitions so far. In the Abrig League, they won all their matches, and right now they qualify for the Super 6, and they will also be playing in the Federation's Cup final. Bende Insurance Rangers final will be a tough one because in 1978 and 1981, both met, even though they shared 1-1. But right now, who is going to win this particular third-time meet between the two teams, and then we can have the bragging right between the Flying Antelopes of Enugu, that is Rangers International, and also not forgetting Bende Insurance, the one they call the Arsenal of Benin, also trying to see how they can become more invincible for this whole season there. We've been looking at this, and let's see what happened between Insurance and Rangers International. Well, looking at the fact that both of them from Southeast and South-South, the battle is between the South-South team and also the South-East team there. Well, big one there. From the Federation's Cup, we quickly move away from that just to give you updates of what's happening in the world of sport before we unveil our guests in the studio. Let's move straight to talk about the IMC, Interim Management Committee. They actually launched the new logo. Formerly it was NPFL, Nigerian Professional Football League. Then it turns to Nigerian Premier Football League. But right now, from next season, it will become Nigerian Premier League. Well, good one. At least we are really evolving. Nigerian Premier League will be coming up there. That will be the next season that will be coming up in Nigerian football. So nothing like MPFL anymore, or professional or Premier Football League. It's now Nigerian Premier League as from next season. Coming from the IMC, Interim Management Committee, doing their best to make sure they get the league at its best. And it's really working out. We just have to appreciate the fact that really it might not just be outrightly right now, talking about the MPFL, but at least they are trying their best to make sure they get to the right place. The MPL will be coming up next season, no more MPFL, and that's a good one coming from the organizer of this league, where they are right now in Lagos, because as from today, the MPFL Super 6 will be starting. Looking at that Super 6, the likes of Eyimba, Bende Insurance, they'll be fighting her Sunshine Stars, all there to fight at in this competition. Let's look at the MPFL Super 6 Day 1 fixtures. Games will be up, and we have games that will be coming up today in the MPFL Super 6 Day 1 fixture. Eyimba against Raymond Stars by 2 p.m. Sunshine Stars versus Rivers United by 4 p.m. And by 6 p.m. you have Bende Insurance, the team that are yet to lose this season. They'll be facing Lobby Stars of Makurdi by 6 p.m. at Mobolaji Johnson Arena in Lagos, where the Day 1 fixtures will be up. Well, 6 teams, and let's see who wins this first round of the MPFL Super 6 there. We've been talking concerning that, and really a big one in Nigerian football, where MPFL, the Super 6, the top 6 teams that actually participated in the MPFL are briefly from Group A and B, where they qualify there. Now, from there, we look at the women also. NWFL Super 6 will also be coming up, and we look at the teams that will be fighting for honors from June 5th to 11th at Stephen Keshi Stadium in Asaba, Delta State. Bayelsa Queens Football Club, Delta Queens, Rivers Angels, you have Edo Queens, FC Robo Queens of Lagos, and Conference Queens of Kogi coming from the north there. Well, good one. From the way it is right now, you have 4 teams from the south of Nigeria: Bayelsa, Delta Queens, Rivers, and Edo Queens, while FC Robo is from Lagos. The 6 teams will be fighting hard to see who wins this year's league. For the women, NWFL, Nigeria Women Football League, Super 6 started from June 5 to 11, 2023. Well, congrats to all the teams that qualified. Let's see who wins this particular one there. Just to give you update concerning what is happening about Nigerian football so far this weekend. No more MPFL matches, but Super 6 and for both male and female will be coming up. And for the male, it will be starting from today, while the women will be starting on 5th June there. Away from those stories we just unveiled to you, let's talk about Super Eagles. Super Eagles will also they'll be fighting out against Sierra Leone over there in Monrovia, Liberia, in the AFCON qualifiers. We look at that story. 2023 AFCON qualifier. Super Eagles begin camping on Sunday ahead of Sierra Leone clash. They'll be camping in Lagos ahead of that particular big clash against Sierra Leone in Monrovia, the capital of Liberia. But they'll be in Lagos as from Sunday. That will be from tomorrow right now. A lot of Super Eagles players will be flying in to Lagos. They want to be together to see how they can qualify for the AFCON after all. Although they are topping the group with 9 points, but that's not it. They just have to work more and win their remaining 2 games, because Guinea-Bissau are still there. They can still make it, even though we are leading the pack. We just must not be complacent. We must make sure we win the remaining 2 games. We're facing Sao Tome and Principe still in this competition, but right now we're facing Sierra Leone first over there in Monrovia, and right now Nigerians want to see what the Super Eagles will be doing after playing in Europe for their respective clubs. Will they be able to transform that to the international duty by performing well, winning against Sierra Leone in that particular encounter that will be coming up in Monrovia? Why we talk about the Super Eagles? Well, our young lads that traveled to Japan at the International Dream Cup taking place in Japan actually lost their first game, and now the second game they were trashed by Japan 6-1. In that game, it was a very painful one, because after they lost their first match against Netherlands, people were thinking, okay, maybe they'll pick up the pieces. But right now, they lost in a wide margin against Japan, the host nation, 6-1. They lost that game. The future Eagles need to up their game as they'll be facing the USA in their last game, and if they lose out, they're actually out of the competition. But well, at least it's an eye-opener for the young ones out there in Japan after getting to Japan very late, and then they just have to start. Well, from the way it is, the future Eagles must perform better in their 3rd game after being trashed by 6-1 by the host nation, Japan there. Well, from those stories we just unveiled to you concerning the future Eagles, really, they are the future. All the matter right now is how to keep these players together. Even though they are losing, that doesn't mean that's the end of their performance. They can still be kept together, and they will perform excellently well afterwards. Now, talking about Nigeria, a lot of activities when it comes to football this weekend. We look at the Flying Eagles, our ladies in Wafubi, and also even the boys are still there in Japan. We start with the women. Ghana, Nigeria. The showdown is coming up tonight, especially from 6 to 6:30 p.m. rather. They'll be fighting out against Ghana over there at the Bayara Stadium in Kumasi, Ghana. And that's a match that Nigerians are hoping that they will defeat Ghana. The rivalry, like we say in our own parlance, is not from here. So if we look at Nigeria and Ghana, that match really, we need it. We saw what they did to our Super Eagles not qualifying for the World Cup, although Ghana is not to be blamed. The Super Eagles and the entire crew are to be blamed for that. But right now, we need to also up our game if we are to win this first edition of the Wafubi. That is a game that Nigerians want to see the ladies winning. After all, they've done so well in this competition, winning almost with wide margin, 6-0, 7-0, 3-0. And right now, they want to do it by silencing the Ghanaian team. Although the ladies too from Ghana are not pushover, they are equally very, very good. So they will be coming up with the fact that they are hosting the competition with the home support against Nigerian Falconet. What will be happening concerning that game? I will use that game to unveil the guests in the studio in the person of Johnny Obiechina. Good to have you, Johnny.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Yes, I saw you nodding your head concerning the matches in Nigeria and Ghana. What can you say about this?
No, the ladies have been excellent. I truly appreciate the women's game. They've shown that they are a class above every other person. This is going to be a very tough final. I think whoever emerges can look ahead in the future, understand that they've got a quality side. Like you said, the Nigerian team have been beating teams with good high-scoring games, and in most of them, not even replied. So, and the Ghanaian team as well has actually been formidable. But I would definitely go for our Nigerian ladies to emerge victorious in this game.
The Falconets.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll be able to do this, because really we've seen what they've done so far in this competition, dominating almost all the team they met. Even Burkina Faso and Benin Republic are going to be playing the third place match. We also defeated them. So let's see what happened between Nigeria and Ghana. Like you said, Nigeria should be able to beat Ghana, right?
Of course.
But it's not going to be an easy ride, because we know how good Ghana, in fact, Ghana and Nigeria almost have the same pattern of football, both for male and female. The strength, they've closed the gap against us when it comes to women dominance in football. We've been dominant for years, but right now, that particular gap is really very close. It's thin between us and Ghana, South Africa, the likes of Zambia, not forgetting Equatorial Guinea, all of the Angola, they are all, even Morocco, trying to see how they can get closer to us when it comes to women football. Still, we are still one of those forces to be reckoned with.
Of course. The Nigerian female team have always been dominant in Africa. I actually think where we need to probably show more improvement or maybe dominance is probably in the world scene. We've always had an edge above the African teams, to say, but I think when we go to the World Cup or maybe other tournaments that involve other international countries apart from Africa, we tend not to dominate or go too far. But the signs that the ladies are showing in terms of the score lines that they're showing is quite impressive. I think if they can hold this team together and watch them grow, we can now become a dominating force in the world scene.
Let's see if truly the Falconets can make us dominant tonight by the time they face the Ghana team at the Bayara Stadium in Kumasi. Although it's not easy, because we know how tough the rivalry is between Nigeria and Ghana, even up to jollof rice. And our top scorers so far in this tournament, we have Esther Jakaye for Falconet. She has scored 6 goals so far. Florence Sebastian, 3 goals. Mafia Njame of Ghana, 3 goals. Stella and Yamekwe there, actually having 3 goals there. Burkina Faso lady Naomi Adel Kabri also scoring 3 goals there. For Wafu Girls Cup 2023, we have 2 Nigerians stopping. Although for the top scorers, we have Esther Jakaye with 6 goals there. Will she be scoring tonight? We wait to see what they will be doing as they file out against Ghana team in that encounter. Like I mentioned, jollof rice, even the rivalry from football to jollof rice.
Jollof rice, of course. Ghana and Nigeria have always had that rivalry, and obviously I think Nigeria has been tipping them ahead.
but if you look at it, it seems Ghana and Nigeria seems like, to me, they look like twins who always want to have fight.
Yeah, you know these. Yeah, like you said, they're twins.
They love themselves, but they also hate themselves.
Which is quite healthy, because at least you don't want the other person to be slacking while the other one is too far ahead. I think in the male side, you could say maybe Ghana now slightly have the edge because they knocked us out of the World Cup. And then, but in the female side, you could say the Nigerian women have quite been impressive. They've dominated the African scene. So I think the rivalry is healthy. It's helpful that these 2 African teams in West Africa are quite dominant in the football world.
Well, really, we've been talking concerning the Nigerian team and also versus Ghana. The rivalry is not from here, as we always say, up to that level of even talking about competition in food. Away from Nigeria and Ghana, for the ladies, let's talk about the guys, the Flying Eagles. We look at that story that has to do with the Flying Eagles right now. Federal government charges Flying Eagles to go all out for FIFA Under-20 World Cup trophy. Well, no one saw that coming, that they would defeat Argentina, and they were able to do it. They did it against Italian Young Azuris, and also defeated the host nation Argentina. But against South Korea, they'll be playing against them in the quarterfinals. And South Korea, we know how tough and how fast they are concerning the tempo of their football style. Well, they'll be playing on Sunday. And that game will be coming up by 10 p.m. At night for Nigerian time. Our boys, even though we've not seen, it's not as if they've been outstanding when it comes to performance.
Yeah.
But at least they are winning.
Yes.
So we just have to support them. But right now, they'll be facing South Korea. South Korea, they defeated a team, Ecuador. Ecuador outstanding in their game against South Korea. In fact, a lot of people were already praying that we shouldn't face the Ecuadorian team. But right now, we're facing the South Korean team, and they've been awed by the federal government. Go all out, you can win this trophy. 3 more matches, face Korea, win Korea first, and then see who you are playing next, and then the next again. So far in this competition, like I said, it's been tough for them, but they've been winning. Do you see them winning against Korea?
Well, I think after the game against Brazil, which coincidentally I called the scoreline at 2-0, I think I was looking at the Argentina game, not the Brazilian game. The boys kind of they put up an attitude against Argentina that they were not going to be pushed over by anybody. You know, like you said, they were not fully impressive because against Argentina, I think Argentina had more possession. Argentina surprisingly had over 25 shots, but they could only muster 5 on target, while the Nigerian team had about 10 shots, but had at least 5 to 6 on target. So it shows that the boys are ruthless. They don't mess about with their chances. They take it as they come. Even you could see some of the goals. The second one I think was a quick counter, and the boys were able to put it at the back of the net. And that's what I think would help them to understand that they are unfazed by whoever they meet. I mean, playing the 2 South American top teams is a very daunting thing for any team.
We lost against one.
Yeah, and
that's
won
against Brazil. We won against one, and the most painful one because the host nation didn't expect that they would be bundled out of the tournament. And now, for the fact that we defeated Italy and Argentina, if you look at it, bookmakers are saying that should spur these boys to do everything possible. They should not underrate South Korea.
Of course.
They should just come out. If we can do it against Italy, 2-0. If we can do it against Argentina, 2-0
as well.
Why don't we stop these South Koreans who are so fast? But all we need to do is try and see if we can, if it's possible that we can cool this tempo of, their football style is
very quick.
Speed, very quick.
The South Korean team they're very fluid on their play. Like you said, even against Ecuador, although everyone could see that Ecuador were quite dominant, but in the end, the game of football is putting the ball at the back of the net, no matter how many times you touch the ball.
Either pass, whatever you want to pass, just win.
Yeah, exactly. Even going back to the Argentina game, I think Argentina had over 500 passes against us, and the boys probably had about 300. So it's a matter of getting the ball at the back of the net, whatever time or whatever way you can get it in, just get the ball in, which I quite admire with these boys. They seem to just get on with it. The Brazilian game that we played was quite discouraging because, in all honesty, I expected them not to easily go through, but they should have beaten them at that game. But the boys were able to dust themselves up, pick themselves up, and then deliver against Argentina. And I think it will be an interesting game. It will be one that everyone should have their eyes on, and I think Nigeria will emerge.
But really, when you look at our team, we've been talking about them winning, but performance-wise, playing as a team, they were not lacking cohesion. Because if you look at the team, individuality has come in one way or the other. They need to play as a team. They want to be more technical. They need to impress Nigerians. We have a pattern of playing football in Nigeria. You see that, okay, this is a team from this country. But this tournament so far, they've been winning. But they've not been able to show that this is a team, that, we have a team in this particular squad.
You know, one thing I love about tournaments is that a team can always progress. You know, so the boys can be encouraged by some of the games they've played and won. You don't win based on luck; it's actually on merit. So they did their job in getting the ball in. So I think they could gain momentum from looking back at some of the games they've played and understand that their cohesion can be better, their ball retention can be better. Maybe was blustering up the midfield to make sure that at least they're not overly pressured in the defense. But in terms of going to score, I think the boys are doing quite well, which I will always point out is the most important thing in football, getting that ball at the back of the net. And I think once they have that understanding that they could face anyone, the cohesion from the team will come. And like I say, in tournaments, you improve. This coming game could be one where we could see a different side, a side that is more confident. They will possess the ball better. They understand what they need to do. You know, it's one thing to have all the possession and yet you're not still delivering the results. It's another thing that you could scrap a goal and win, the main thing again is to win because they're still in the tournament and 12 of the biggest teams are out.
Well, we've been talking concerning Nigeria versus South Korea. That'll be coming up on Sunday, 10 p.m. Nigerian time. Can we win this match? We've done it before against the likes of Argentina, Italy, and we are facing South Korea, where we just have to be very careful not to underrate them, that they are Asians. They can be very, very fast. Well, let's see what Ladan Boso and his lads will do concerning that particular game. A weekend full of action in the world of football for Nigerian teams. The WAFU B tournament taking place in Ghana involving Nigeria under 20 women, the Falconets, and also the World Cup, FIFA World Cup taking place in Argentina involving the under 20 men. That is the Flying Eagles, also taking place over there in Argentina. Well, we hope the two teams win, and also one will be going in for the final to win it, and one will be going in to qualify for semi-final. Talking about the Flying Eagles and also the Falconets. Wishing them the best as they prosecute those games for this weekend. Away from there, let's go to that segment where we give you updates concerning what you may not know concerning some Nigerian footballers or sportsmen or women, or even any story that has to do with Nigeria, taking you back memory lane. Let's go. Good one there to take you back. At least you know those things concerning Nigerians right now. Well, the D Tigers are doing so well, always triumph when it comes to basketball, and not taking anything away from JJ Okocha when he was the costless African players at 1998. And that jersey, beautiful jersey of Super Eagles, really selling out for the World Cup then. Just to take you back from that memory lane, quickly let's talk about Nigeria doing well in Europe when it comes to football. And we have the man of the moment, Victor Osimhen. Osimhen right now winning the best striker in Italia Serie A. No one else should be able to get that. He deserved it after scoring 25 goals. Really, he did well. Talking about Victor Osimhen, despite getting injured at one time in the season, he was able to bounce back and he dominated the Scudetto, winning for Napoli and also winning the best striker in the 2022-2023 season. Congrats to Victor Osimhen.
Yeah, Victor Osimhen has had a phenomenal season. The Prince of Naples, he's a real joy for Nigerians, and I think this season has shown his quality. He's shown his energy and his energy to grow and develop, because when he moved from, I think was it Lille?
Lille, yes.
Yeah, from France. There were a lot of questions, especially because of the price tag he came at 75 million euros, which, to be honest, is quite a lot, but he quickly dusted any questions about his quality, put his head right into the game and started scoring. I mean, to break the records or outscore the likes of Obafemi Martins as one of the now the top scoring African in those leagues, Obafemi Martins, Samuel Eto'o, George Weah, those are big names to come up against, and to break their records and go above, scoring over 25 goals in the Serie A was quite phenomenal. Osimhen was a key figure in Napoli's run to the Scudetto. So Osimhen has had, I think he can give a good shout for the African best, maybe the likes of Mahrez, depending on how the season ends with them. It will be a tough one for them to pick who's going to win the African
Footballer of the Year. But so far, really deserved this award. I saw some Nigerians for the fact that his teammate, Vicha Koroshkele, winning the MVP, most valuable player of the season. Nigerians are saying they should be given to Osimhen. For me, Osimhen is okay with this. Because if you look at Napoli, when he was injured, the Georgian really did a lot of job for that team.
Especially,
and also,
sorry, go on, sorry.
And also looking at the fact that he made a lot of assists for Osimhen, even when he came back to score those goals. You can't take it away from Kvaratskhelia.
No, of course. And to be honest, sometimes I think the press tries to create this rivalry and make it look like Osimhen and Kvaratskhelia have been having this partnership that they two understand themselves. It's almost like one person could look the other way and understand the other person is making a run and puts it in, or Osimhen wins the ball down and knocks it down for his teammate to come in, or maybe have a tap in and go. So the bond they have is something that, in spite of the rivalry the media is trying to create, they were able to just grow. I mean, the two of them combined together over 50 goals and assists. So they've had a wonderful season. I mean, Osimhen, yes, you could say he should be MVP. He has a shout for it. 25 goals is quite remarkable in the Serie A, especially. And then also, you could also tell that I think in the Champions League game, the first leg where he missed against AC Milan, it showed that they really missed him, his figure, putting the defense under pressure, making defenders know that he's
around.
Yeah, he's present,
on the pitch,
winning the ball in the air, disturbing defenders.
Energetic striker.
Osimhen has actually marveled me in the Serie A and also in the Champions League.
And how defensive Serie A can be, and yet he was able to muster 25 goals. That's a fantastic performance.
I think he also had this record where he scored in 11 straight matches or so. It was brilliant. Like Osimhen, I actually think he should, if he could get a move to the Premier League, would be wonderful for him, because I would love to see him with the likes of Haaland and also
competing,
to be at the best.
Where do you want him to go to in England?
Honestly, everybody's actually looking for him.
Because I've seen Man United, Chelsea showing interest,
of course,
and Newcastle United also joining that particular.
Even Arsenal could put in their head into the equation. Like everyone wants Osimhen.
So you now, where do you want him? Assuming these three teams, Newcastle, Man United, and Chelsea, are all bidding for him, where do you prefer him to be?
If I'm being fair, I would say Chelsea. I think.
And why?
Pochettino is a manager I respect a lot. I kind of look at him like Jurgen Klopp, who, without so many resources, can easily muster up a team that can fight and actually produce good football.
But what about Nkunku being around?
And I think Nkunku and Osimhen will actually catch on.
They will gel.
Yes, because Nkunku he's not your like normal number 9. He's more of like a 10.
Nkunku plays like Sadio Mane kind of
they can also drift into the wide areas. They can drift in. They're not like a central 9. And that's where Osimhen would also come in. Osimhen is a more dominant central 9. You can play up to him. He can also run. So you can play over the defense and allow him to run. He could also tend to maybe drop down a bit, bring the ball down for his teammates and create the space for which his teammates can run through the flanks and into the defense. So I think Chelsea would be wonderful if Osimhen.
Does that mean, let me take you back a bit, does that mean Osimhen, if he comes to Chelsea, could be in the mode of Didier Drogba for them?
Of course, and coincidentally, there was a tweet where Drogba, where they said everyone was attributing Osimhen to be the next Drogba, and Drogba actually came out and said he actually has the potentials to even be better than him. And Osimhen,
because I see them, I'm almost having the same, almost the stature, the height, everything, and the
strength,
the hunger for goals.
Yes, the physique, the relentless, the making, even Drogba is bigger than Osimhen in terms of size-wise, but Osimhen shocks you with the strength he has. I think there was a game against Juventus, he bullied the defense, and these are world-class defenders.
And the height at which he actually leaps whenever he's leaping to go for a header.
On score goals,
always
yeah.
very surprising.
Of
In
course.
fact, you only call Ororo is also jealous of this. Okay, we've been talking about Victor Osimhen getting the award of best striker in Italia Serie A after winning the Scudetto with the Napoli. They call it the Neapolitans. Right now, so still celebrating the fact that 33 years they waited for that trophy, and the coveted trophy actually came to that city. Well, right now, celebrating Nigeria over there in Europe. Another one has to do with Alex Iwobi. Iwobi winning the player of the year for his club anyway, Everton. And somebody said Everton are relegated. But at least it's his club and he did well with them and getting the player of the year for that club.
I think Iwobi's season has been up and down. He's been a dominant player in the Everton team, even though they had a downward season where they were fighting in relegation. Iwobi for me hasn't been too consistent, but however, whenever the talent that he has comes out, you could see the quality and you could understand that there's a player in there. I actually hope that them surviving the relegation battle, that next season we would see the quality we've always known him while he was at Arsenal. I didn't think the move from Arsenal away from Arsenal was good for him in terms of his development, but Iwobi is a young, talented man. I just think he needs to do it more often than the way he has been doing it. He has the quality, he has the talent, he's very, very skillful. Even Lampard, when he was there, even though Lampard didn't have a good run at Everton, but Lampard could attest to the quality that he had. I think there was a game against Man United where he dominated the midfield and showed his quality, but then again, the consistency wasn't there, which is why Everton were having a very bad season, but thankfully they were able to break through the relegation battle, and in fairness, he deserves being maybe the player of the year for the team.
For Everton, okay. Well, even though apologies to Everton, the mindset that Iheanacho got relegated with Leicester actually pushed me to Alex Iwobi. But right now, let's talk about the man that played with Leicester, Iheanacho, also winning the player of the year for his club. Also, we look at, even though at the beginning it was like more of a fringe player, but right now, being able to win this award also speaks volume.
Of course. Iheanacho, for me, his season was down due to his injuries. I think even one thing I respected was a game just not too long before the season ended where he was running. I think it was a counter. I can't quite remember the exact team they played, but he got injured. But before he went down, he was able to give a pass that led to a goal. He gave a pass to, I think, Maddison, who gave it to Vardy. And then Iheanacho is a player that I know always fights. He's always responsive when he's asked a question about his quality. Maybe when, like you said, he was at some point he was looking like a fringe player, but whenever he comes in, he always has, I think he has his record in the FA Cup where he scores, I think his goal per game is quite impressive. I think he has over 15 or so goals in 20-something appearances in the FA Cup. So he shows his quality whenever he's questioned, even though at some point I was surprised why he was being used as a fringe player for someone who I believe has the quality. He's a goal scorer. He's quite proficient in front of the goal. So Iheanacho, it will be sad for him, but primarily because he was injured throughout the season, not really having a chance to make a fight for Leicester, which was part of the reason why they dropped a lot of their players. Ndidi as well. Ndidi just came and met the relegation battle, and they couldn't really have an impact on how Leicester could survive, and unfortunately for them, they went down.
We've been talking concerning Nigeria over there in Europe. Alex Iwobi, Iheanacho, and also Victor Osimhen all winning in their own right there. Well, quickly, we just let us glance through some the NBA match they won between Miami Heat and, well, you just can't take it away from Denver Nuggets right now. Looking at that result there, for the fact that they were able to win game one right now. Jokic, the one they call Jokic, really helping the Nuggets to win the first game. And we see in this 7 series who wins the NBA for this season between Miami Heat. Against all odds, no one saw them coming to this level. But really, they've been fantastic qualifying for the final of this particular competition, playing against Denver Nuggets, who has really been on fire. Well, there's a way to see the remaining 6 games to be played. Who is going to win? Is it the Heat or the Denver Nuggets? Well, right now, they are leading the pack. They won the first game there. You see 104 against 93, and you can't take it away from the man called the Joker, Jokic, being able to score 27 points, 10 rebounds, and 14 assists in that game, the NBA Finals. More of this will be coming as they continue their game. Well, for Jimmy Butler, he will also be trying how he can bottle down the remaining games. Well, it's still open. Anything can still happen between the two teams. We wait to give you more concerning this, just to give you an update there. Now we look at Real Madrid. They are still the world wealthiest team when it comes to valuation coming from Forbes. Right now, let's quickly look at that particular list of Forbes 10 most valuable clubs. 6.7 billion in value for Real Madrid, and Manchester United are second there with $6 billion. That's their valuation right now. Barcelona are trailing, standing top, $5.51 billion. Liverpool, Manchester City, Bayern Munich. You have PSG, Paris Saint-Germain there, 4.21 billion. Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur, Arsenal is always dominated by the English Premier League teams. You have Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea there, Man City, Liverpool, Manchester United. Out of 10, they've taken almost all the chunks outside of the whole thing. But right now, for Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern, and PSG, they still remain among the top 10 most valuable clubs in the world. Away from that particular story, let's quickly look at the women football. The Champions League final will be coming up between Barcelona Femenino, that's where Asisa Oshua apply her trade, against VfL Wolfsburg Ladies. Wolfsburg Ladies, they won it twice, and for Barcelona Femenino, it's just once. Briefly, this game, we have a Nigerian there, and we know anything can happen in this game. No one should underrate Wolfsburg. They know the business of this competition. How do you see it?
You know, one thing about the female Champions League is that it's actually quite very tough to win. I think Lyon also is another team that has also shown that they are like more or less European royals in the female Champions League. Barcelona hasn't quite won it like the way the men dominate, but I think they have the team, they have the quality. Like you said, our Nigerian sister is there. It will be quite a very tough game. Wolfsburg have some good players. They've got the quality. They've shown they have the quality in the past as well. So I think it's going to be a close one, but I would probably tip towards Barcelona winning this.
Let's see who will be winning this right now. Even though Johnny is still tilting towards Barcelona, I'm a bit skeptical about the winner of that game. Well, from there, let's quickly look at matches slated for this weekend in La Liga, Serie A, and also not forget the French Ligue 1. Yes, we've been talking concerning matches there. Well, those are the matches coming up in La Liga, Italia, Serie A, and also in the French League 1. But right now, the biggest one for this weekend over there in England is the FA Cup that will at least, let's see if Manchester City were really running after the treble. Can they win this? They've won the EPL and now they are looking at the FA Cup. Can they win it against Manchester United? Is a battle of the two teams, a derby between the two. Who wins this battle between Manchester United and Man City, the FA Cup final? We look at this particular game, the FA Cup final between the two. Who wins this?
The Manchester finals, or the Manchester Derby final. It's going to be a tough one to call, to be honest. City obviously are definitely favourites, but then again, the rivalry between these two teams in terms of who's now going to look like the dominant force in the city is at stake now, because Man United certainly wouldn't want Manchester City to go on and do the glorious treble of winning the Champions League, the Premier League and the FA Cup, which Man United has done. But at the same time, to do it over their biggest rival would be quite like putting salt in someone's eye. So I think the United team wouldn't go there and make it easy for City. City has to come in and actually win this game. And coincidentally, in the two games they've had, each side have won each of the games, with City winning. I think they had the highest scoreline with the 6-3 game, but Man United were able to win their game, I think 2-1 at Old Trafford. So it's going to be a tough one, but City are favourites. I tend to say I think City.
Guardiola, although we know him as one of the king of mind games, right now he's already saying, well, the team he won against last time is not the same team he wants to play now, that they've actually evolved far better. So, do you think he's trying to play mind games to make Man United feel good about themselves first, and then they will get carried away with that? You know, this football thing, a lot of psychology involved in it.
Of course, but I think he's, to a fair extent, he's right, because I have to give credit to Erik ten Hag coming into Man United, and I think at the start it wasn't quite easy. They lost to Brentford, I think 4-1 at the start of the season, but after that they were able to bounce back. Rashford has had a phenomenal season. He scored over 30 goals this season. Casemiro has been a revelation to them. Apart from being a defensive block, he's also chipping in goals. Sancho has been on and off, but he came back towards the end of the season to show his quality. Bruno Fernandes is always there. So he's quite right that it's not the same team that he beat 6-3 at the start of the season, but City is City, that's the problem. City is a very, very strong, solid team. They could almost play in any shape or form. I mean, now they do. John Stones, the defender, is playing in midfield. So, but Pep Guardiola is a genius of a manager. He could literally come up with any kind of formation and throw everybody off. Also, it could also backfire on him like he did in the Champions League final, where he lost to Chelsea due to tweaking the team's formation. So, it's an interesting game. I think everyone will have their eyes hooked on the TV. Well, City are strong favourites.
What are you looking at as goal margin now?
I think it's definitely going to be a close one. It won't be a high-scoring final. Maybe a 2-1 victory for City.
2-1 victory for City. We wait, because Manchester United fans want to accept that. That big fight between Manchester United and Manchester City involving the two clubs. Looking at the record that they have so far in FA Cups, Manchester United won it 12 times, City 6 times, League Cup 6-8, Champions League, you can take that away from Manchester United, won it 3 times, Europa League once, UEFA Super Cup 1, European Cup Winners' Cup 1, and FIFA Club World Cup also they've done it. Well, the record is far favoring the red, but anything can happen to that. When you look at this particular competition between the two Manchester teams, who wins it? Well, bookmakers are favoring Manchester City, but football can just turn around and goes to the Red Devils side. That will be it on the show. Weekend Sport on Trust TV. I've been with Johnny Obiechina. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And I just hope that the clothes you are wearing will speak.
I'm also a red myself. So.
Anyway, you are a red. Okay, good one out there. When you see a Liverpool fan supporting Man United, something is wrong.
Of course, you know the world is over right now.
Good one out there. Just to wrap it up there, I'm Adeni Jushafe. Have a splendid weekend. Thanks for watching.